What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of Profit Picks. If you are new, we do always start the show by being transparent. Didn't do a show yesterday, mostly because I planned to travel and I had some stuff going on. So I didn't end up traveling yesterday. I traveled this morning and made it in time for the show. So didn't do anything in the NBA yesterday. I did lose on those Cougars though, Rob, but they kind of stung me the past two times, but things have been good outside of that. I think I won. Yeah, I won five of my last seven games. So good to be back with you, Vino. How's everything with you?
We're good, Skee. I too got stung by the Houston Cougars last night. I tried them first half, and to tell you the truth, I turned that channel to go check out another game really quick. There's like 7.5 left in the first half, and Houston was in complete control. And I thought, okay, we're laying half a point here. We're going to make it to halftime. When I came back, they lost the first half by 4 points.
Yep.
Um, Something about this team, Ski. I don't know. We won't waste too much time because this is college hoop and this is an NBA show. But there's something about the Houston team that just feels a little bit different than the ones he's had the past few years. Can't put my finger on it, but they just don't have that killer instinct like the other ones did.
For some reason, they struggle a little bit more to score, and I don't know. Yeah, something is a little off, but we'll see. Um, First time they've lost three in a row since I've been paying close attention. We'll see how they respond. Seeing people rolling in the chat, but I did see a message. I don't think the show got tweeted out. Just double checking here. Like, so I don't know. I don't know what I have to do, but we'll figure it out. Regardless, we'll go through the games like we usually do. We'll start at the top. Here comes some people coming into the chat, so they must have got their notification. All right,
Okay.
Sixers and Pacers. And by the way, like I said before, I'm doing a lot of capping as we go today. That's what today's show will be. I do have a play that I've made, but doing a lot of capping as we go. 76ers and Pacers opened up minus 8.5 for the Sixers, now as high as 10.5. Mostly 10s though. Total open 235, as low as 233. For the Sixers, you have Embiid questionable, Broom out, Paul George out. For the Pacers, you have Jones, Potter both probable, McConnell, Nimhard both questionable, Siakam doubtful, Neesmith, Toppin, Zubac out. Um, yeah, this is not a game that I have the most interest betting off the top, but let's take a look at the schedule here. We do have third game in 4 nights for the Sixers, fourth and sixth for both. Sixers coming off a win as an underdog. So versus T Wolves, actually, yeah, I was on them actually. 135 to 108. They were plus 9.5. They smoked them. So could be a spot for them to let down. But do we trust the Pacers to do anything? It seems like the Pacers not the most interested in really winning games. What do you think about this one?
Yeah, I think that injury list tells us all we need to know about their interest in winning games. I understand there's a lot of questionables and whatnot in there, but Indiana, I forget if they're one of the two teams that got fined. I know Utah was one of them. I feel like Indiana was the other one that got fined for not trying to win these games. I will say one thing: the Sixers are trying to win games, and they've had to do it the first three times post All Star break without Joel Embiid, who it looks like all indications, at least from my area, Ski, it looks like he's going to be back tonight, which would be helpful to the cause here for Philly because there was the game prior to the Minnesota game that you just referred to. The game before that, they had like 68 at halftime and then just thoroughly ran out of gas in the second half because I remember having their team total over and thinking this is easy. And they only scored like 46 second half, but they did bounce back against Minnesota. You could see with Embiid tonight how they could, their scoring should be there, no question. Um, will they play enough defense to get over this number? And this number is kind of telling me it's a reaction to Embiid probably going in this game up to 10, 10.5 right now. Not so sure I trust Philly to lay it, even though I think they could cover it. But the potential there for them to get over 121.5 sure is there, especially if Indiana loses some of the players that were on that injury list. I think most notably TJ McConnell, who lights a fire under the second team and keeps Indiana playing with pace. If you pair that with a questionable status of Nembhard, I have to believe one of those will go. Siakam just came back for one game, I think, and now he's on the doubtful side of playing tonight again. So that's more offense missing for Indiana. I don't know. The more I look at what Indiana is going to put on the floor, the more I'd be inclined to say that Philly can play enough defense to win by 10 plus, especially if Embiid plays, because the advantage at center will be huge. Maybe a small look toward Philly here, Skee. Probably even more than that, though. I think them getting to 122 shouldn't be much of an issue unless they're up so big that they just take the foot off the pedal in the fourth quarter. And I just don't like Indiana right now as a team, like you said to start with, as a team trying to win games.
Yeah, these are the roles both teams have been good in late on the season. 9-3 as a road favorite for the Sixers, 14-9 as a home dog for the Pacers. Interesting. But I do like what you're saying there. I mean, I'm looking at the schedule for the Pacers. 122 is the ask for tonight for Philly. I mean, it looks like they're really giving that up. Only the teams who are like bottom of the barrel are the only ones who are not getting it. Like the Wizards, the Nets, the Bucks, those tiers of teams. Everybody else is just scoring kind of at will here. Maybe it's Philly team total. I'll write down a Philly team total. My short list. It's probably going to be a long list today. We're gonna have to make some decisions, but I'll add it because that is if I'm playing my preferred side. All right, let's keep going here. We have Mavs and Nets. And get away from these team totals. Opened up -1.5 for the Mavs. Still sitting right there. Total open 224, and it's still right around there. For Dallas, you have Cooper flag out, Gafford questionable, Martin probable. I don't see anybody on the injury report for Brooklyn. Um, let's see what they have going on here schedule wise. I don't think it's anything crazy for this game, but for the Mavs, well, we do have a little bit of. I mean, Mavs have been on the road, so let me just double check here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This will be their 6th straight road game. So maybe the Mavs have a little bit of travel fatigue. We shall see about that. For the Nets, it's their first game home after a road trip, 4th and 6 nights. And it wasn't that long of a road trip. It was just 3 games. But Nets aren't a team I really trust to score in the first place. Mavs offense could suffer this last game of the trip. I don't know. Thinking a little bit of an under here. What do you think about this one, Vino? You're muted. You're muted, Vino.
I thought I unmuted myself and I muted myself. I'll tell you what I did notice on Sunday, Skee, was that Atlanta Brooklyn game where Brooklyn led in the fourth quarter, and not by 1 or 2 points, by like 7 or 8 points. And then the next thing you know, they're down by 10. It's almost as if they were like, oh, we're winning. We got to make sure we lose, because that thing turned around. Atlanta scored like 17 in a row or something to close that game. It was crazy, but it showed me exactly what we just said about Indiana, that Brooklyn really doesn't care about winning games. Dallas came out in a small favorite fashion the other night and did win and cover. I forget who it was against, but I think they were laying like in this same exact price range, and they wound up winning that game. The problem with betting Dallas, which is what I would want to do, is I think exactly what you just said. 6 games straight on the road goes back before the All-Star break. It means they haven't been home in ages. So perhaps there's some fatigue here. But, if you want to bet against that, you're betting into the Nets not even wanting to win. Like if the Nets are ahead by 4 with 4 minutes left, who's to say they don't allow Dallas 9 straight and Dallas covers the game? So that's what we're up against here, trying to handicap these with these teams at the bottom of the barrel who are all trying to get one of these 6 or 7 prize freshmen coming out of college this year. I'm going to stay off of this one, Skee. I can't argue you off of the total being under because the potential for Dallas fatigue combined with the potential of the Nets not wanting to win would just tell you that scoring could be a little bit limited, especially in the fourth quarter. Like it could go great for 3 quarters, and in the fourth quarter could go bone dry, and it becomes a graveyard where those overs go to die. So I could see potentially an underplay in this particular contest as Dallas wraps up that long. That's a long time on the road before the All-Star break. Yikes.
All right, let's keep moving. This next game is more interesting than this one to me. I think this is one I might be willing to bet right now. Thunder and Raptors opened up -1 for the Thunder. We've seen a flip of favorites, now -1 for the Raptors. Totals come down from 218 to 217 or 217.5 as far as the injuries are concerned. Jakob Pertl will be out, Hepburn out for Toronto. For OKC, you have Caruso and Chet both questionable. No SGA, no AJ Mitchell, no J-Dub. Thunder were just able to, who did they handle? The Cavs, just like this. But this is the first of a back-to-back for both of these teams. The Thunder play the Pistons tomorrow. The Raptors play the Spurs. Now, both opponents are pretty good. As far as the next opponents, they're both pretty good. But I would put my money that it's more of a look ahead spot for OKC, like to look more towards sending a message towards the Pistons. Like I don't think they really care about the Raptors. The Raptors also are going to be at home for tonight's game and tomorrow. The Thunder saving some energy for another travel tomorrow. I think you get a really good effort from the Raptors tonight, and I think that could be good enough to win the game. Do you agree, Rob Veno, or how are you seeing this one?
Yeah, it depends how much stock you put into Oklahoma City trying to get revenge on Toronto. They lost by 2 points to Toronto a month ago. And if that sits in the back of their minds, then maybe they do go after this win. They went after it pretty strong against Cleveland the other day. However, the point you make about them probably wanting, Detroit's more meaningful, right? Beating Detroit like San Antonio did last night. You could see what it meant to San Antonio. Detroit's becoming the king of the East. We need to see how we stack up against them. So I could understand both sides here. Oklahoma City generally of the mindset that they're going to play 48 minutes no matter what because of the depth, but the injuries have taken their toll a little bit. Didn't show up on Sunday. Mainly because they played such good deep. The beginning of that game, Skee, it was like steal, layup, turnover, layup, and Oklahoma City had Cleveland calling timeout in a hurry. My first thought on this game was I feel like Toronto's defense has been really good as of late. And so I was going to try and look toward an under in this game. I've tried to play.
They held all 5 last opponents 113 or less.
Yeah, pretty good number, right? And I know for a fact because I had a small play on Toronto-Chicago over. Didn't get close because Chicago couldn't score on them. Then I followed it up with a play on Toronto-Milwaukee over. And it didn't get there because Milwaukee couldn't score. And Milwaukee, for what it's worth, we'll get to this game later. Since they got Cam Thomas, they've been scoring. So Toronto's defense to me is a big factor in this game. Let me just check and see what the current number is total-wise so we get it right for people. I'm showing 216.5, bet down from 218. I will say this. The guys who got it early and took this number down, I think you were right. In this instance, switch of favorites here to Toronto. I'm not sure I have any interest in the game, Skee. I'd rather counterpunch with the 2 back-to-back matchups tomorrow for these 2 teams. But I still think there might be a little wiggle room in that total under. I don't know if I have enough. I don't know if I have enough guts to play it, though, at 216.5. You're talking about a 110, 107. That's very possible. So odds makers seem to have this one right.
That's appealing to me, that under. Both teams bottom 10 in pace last 5 games. Raptors actually the number 1 defense. Yeah, we know the Thunder are more capable, and Thunder missing so much scoring. I mean, I I can understand an under here. Definitely can get with an under here. Toronto, or I'm sorry, OKC team total can get what 108 and a half, 107 and a half. Maybe the full game under is the play here. Under or Raptors. I think I do want to get involved. I was thinking just Raptors before, you know, we broke it down more. But this is a game I do think I want to bet here. Take a look at the chat. See what you guys. We do have Brian liking the under. Mark likes it as well. Shout out to Faractos with the $5 dono says, love this show. I learned the hard way that I can always put a minus 200 bet and win it instead of worse than a minus 110 bet and lose it by a very small margin. Appreciate you for the $5 dono. All right, anything else before we move on here, Vino? Can we push any buttons?
No, but you might be talking me back into my original thought because, like I said, first glance, I wanted under just because of Toronto's defense has been so good as of late. And then because of the number, I talked myself off of it a little bit, but maybe you guys are swaying me a little back to my original thought. We'll see. I have it written down as well. Full game under. I don't want to isolate anybody here because one defense could possibly hold the other to 95 or less, and then you get yourself a full game under.
Yeah. All right. I got to think about that one a little bit more. But good stuff on that game. Wizards and Hawks. I want nothing to do with this game. You know, if I'm betting, I think I'm laying. I'm not betting with the Wizards. The Wizards, eh, this is just, I mean, it's the last year they're going to allow all this tanking, right? And, you know, these teams are taking advantage. They're showing they don't care. Or maybe the Wizards, you know, the Wizards do play a little bit better for the first half, but those second halves have not been good. Hawks are nothing. Probably nothing. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm not having any part of the Hawks. I thought, and I think we were both on the same wavelength here at the trade deadline. We actually thought that Atlanta had built some depth and would play well. They're like 2-6, 2-5 against the spread last 7. And like I say, if not for a complete disappearance of the Brooklyn Nets the other day, Atlanta's losing that game to Brooklyn at home in the fourth quarter. I'm like, what are they doing here? They just haven't played well. I have read a couple of quotes from Atlanta, which says that they are still trying to get used to their new roles, the new rotations, the players brought in, et cetera, et cetera. So maybe that's part of it. But for me, I'll wait until they are playing a little more cohesive. And just staring at numbers here really quick, Skee, for those watching the show. Atlanta's last 4 games, all 4 to the under and well to the under. How about this? Last 4 games, Atlanta's played 18.5 points under the closing number, 17.5 points under the closing number, 18.5 points under, and the Nets game, 8.5 points under. With that, all 4 Hawks team totals have gone under. However, if you expect me to bet a Hawks team total under against the Wizards defense, I can't do it. These two teams are going to play right back against one another in the same building in 2 days. We'll see what goes on here, but I don't want any part of the Hawks right now.
Right. And no, Kaminga is not looking like he's playing tonight. To the chat. Knicks and Cavaliers. Probably not going to spend too much time here. Open 3.5, looks like 4. Total went up from 229 as high as 232.5. Injuries. McBride still out. Struce still out. Cavs, you know, like I said, they're beating up on those weak teams when Harden first came over. You know, they still beat the Hornets. They didn't cover. Hornets played them tight, even though they were shorthanded. Shorthanded Thunder team actually beat them. I'm not as high on these Cavs as a lot of other people have been. The Knicks, they are coming off back-to-back wins. They were, you know, we're on a back-to-back, so this is third game in 4 nights for them. But I don't know. I feel like I would trust them a little bit more than what I've seen from the Cavaliers lately. So maybe Knicks. Maybe Knicks is the only way I can go here. What do you think?
Well, You disposed of the Cavs side, so I'll dispose of the Knicks side. I don't want them. By rights, they should have lost that. By rights, they should have lost that Houston game, right? I mean, that comeback in the fourth quarter was crazy. Houston let that one totally get away. And then the Knicks, like you say, they had to go back the very next night and play the Bulls. And, you can go through the motions and beat the Bulls 105-99 to final there. But they haven't covered a game since the team's return from All-Star break. And against Detroit and Houston, I just didn't like it. Doesn't look like the Knicks can step up in class. This is a step up in class, but I'll say this, not on the defensive side the way Detroit and Houston are. Detroit and Houston are far better defensive teams than Cleveland is. This James Harden effect with the Cavs, I'm not quite sure yet, but this game could result in an over, Skee. I don't know. The Knicks didn't look right to me, or I shouldn't say right. They just didn't look good to me when they were asked to play Detroit and Houston back almost back to back. Then the Chicago win, take it with a grain of salt, didn't cover the number, but it was a tough spot. I don't know. I don't like the Knicks side. The Cavs side, like I say, we'll see what happens with Harden. But I could be talked into an over with these two teams playing. Anytime Cleveland's playing, including Sunday early afternoon against OKC, where I cashed an over ticket. The Cavs are an over team right now.
I think I can agree with that. I don't like the pace, but I do think it still could get there. Next we have, and I think I might have messed this up here. We're supposed to have Warriors and Pelicans. I don't think I have a banner for that, so um, yeah, my bad on that one. Warriors and Pelicans. This one opened at -2 for the Warriors. Looks like 1.5. Total open 225.5. Looks like 227, 228 for the Warriors. No Porzingis, Horford, Seth, or Steph Curry, or LJ Cryer. Draymond is probable. For the Pelicans, Murphy's out, PB's out, Misi's out. You know, I like to think that this is still an over game. I feel like the Warriors still try to play fast. It's kind of how I feel. And Warriors have been giving it up defensively. I mean, let me just pull it up here. And the Pelicans, we know their defense isn't great. Um, Warriors are coming off of a win. Still gave up 117, gave up 121, 126, 113. I mean, they can give it up. And the Pelicans feel like they have enough offense to take advantage here. Don't love Murphy out once again, but lean over. If you know, what do you think here?
Yeah, I could lean with you because not only are the Warriors trying to play fast, Ski, but they throw up more threes than any team in the NBA. And I should let you talk to me because I saw a Twitter post from you that said you left some money on the table by not playing Golden State the other day. They just 55 threes against Boston attempts, 52 against Denver, made 20 and 21. New Orleans will kind of let you play that way. If you're going to make 23s, then the right way to look is toward the over because the Golden State defense, like you say, they're very smallish. New Orleans should have advantages on the interior. They're still a decent scoring team. So to me, there's probably only one way to play either of these sides. If New Orleans was getting a little bit more, and, I guess you could always alternate line these games and pay a bigger price. But if this had come out somewhere in the 4.5 price range, I would have been on the home dog. But you can't trust New Orleans to win games either. It's another one of those teams, you can't trust them. So over is probably the right way to go here. We're looking only at 227.5. Honestly, that's probably a pretty cheap number. Golden State's going to throw up 53s. They make another 20 against this defense. 227.5 is going to look small. So, like you said before the start of the show, and we did talk off air a little bit that we were going to talk these things through because both of us were a little behind this morning. I didn't have this one marked down, but I'm marking it down now on a list. Golden State, New Orleans over 227.5. I think that's a pretty good side.
Either that or the Pelicans for me at the house. That would be my preferred looks. All right, next we have Heat and Bucks. Opened up -5.5 for Miami. Looks like 6.5. Total went from 228 down as low as 226.5 out there. Injuries. Davion Mitchell is probable. Jovic is out. Giannis is out. Taring Prince is out. Um, yeah, I think I'm pretty out on this game. I'm gonna pass this one to you first. If you have any interest here, while I take a second look and see if I can find something worth betting.
All right, yeah. This is the only game I bet so far, Ski. I bet this game over, and I'm almost blindly at this point betting Milwaukee Bucks games over right now. It's all offense, zero defense. I got burnt a little bit the other night, not by much, but by a little. I think the Toronto Milwaukee total was 219. They got to 216 because the Bucks only put up 94 points, which is a little out of character ever since they acquired Cam Thomas. They've been scoring KPJ Jr., Kevin Porter Jr., excuse me, and Cam Thomas and all these guys, Rollins, these guys that score but don't play any D. So in this one, I know I'm getting pace out of Miami, man. They've come out of the shoot on fire with 3 straight team total overs. Playing with that pace again. I don't know what it's ranked since they came out of the break, but I know there's playing fast again. And Milwaukee's going to go with it. I mean, there's no question in my mind that this game should have been probably, to me, priced at 230 at least. And it makes me scratch my head a little bit, Ski, that people would even play this game under. But this total opened 228, bet down to 227, a couple of 226 and a halfs out there, which could be just stale numbers. I'm not sure. But I don't see any reason why you can't play this game to go up and over 230 the way Milwaukee's playing right now as an offensive team and not a defensive opportunity. So I bet it. Played a Miami total right after the break. We often talk about what baseline numbers should be for teams. And if you can catch a Miami Heat game, I really don't care. 99% of the NBA as an opponent, let's put it that way, if you can catch it under 230, you just got to blindly play over with the Heat and add the Bucks to it. I think it's a pretty solid bet.
That makes some sense there, Vino. I definitely can understand that one. The Heat past 3 games, 123, 128, 136. They definitely been scoring. Um, we'll see. Maybe this one is too low there, like you say. All
Ski, a
true.
couple of those two were back to backs. I think the 128 and 136, they came right back and scored even more the next night. I'm not staring at it now, but I think that was a back to back spot.
Yeah, this one. Sorry there. I'm tired. A lot of driving, man. But yeah, I definitely get that one. All truth lies within says. First of all, thank you for the $5 dono. Says, let me get a 5-way parlay lock. Keep doing what you're doing. Appreciate you for that. Yeah, I don't know if we can help you with a 5-way lock.
There's people that tune in looking for them, though, Ski, and then they're mad when they don't get them.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Especially today. Today's a little bit tougher for both of us. But we appreciate you. Hornets and Bulls open -7.5. Looks like 8.5. Total went from 230.5 as high as 233. Injury report. And on that note, too, before or actually, hold on, injury report before I forget. Ivy out, Simon's out, Smith out for Chicago, McNeely out for Charlotte. Um, there were some people in the comments for one of our shows. They're like, "God damn, have some enthusiasm." Blah 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 blah. We had like all winners on the show, no losers. Like, do you guys want to be entertained or you guys want to have winners? I mean, I get you can have both, but aren't we here to win money? Is that what everybody's putting up for? I mean, you can just go turn on the TV and click whatever other show is your favorite show to go laugh at if that's what you want. I don't know. I just had a good laugh out of that. But
Ski, I would say there's times when we're pretty entertaining too, though. We laugh a
there
lot on this show.
there are. But sometimes, hey, sometimes it just is what it is, man. It might be a day like today where I'm dead. I just drove hours. I'm tired. All right. This one, you have Bridges back, Diabate back in the lineup. Hornets have been pretty good when everybody's been healthy. For the Bulls, I don't know. One thing I would say is I don't view the Hornets as a -8.5 team, especially on the road. For as little faith as I have in the Bulls, I still would like to think that they can hang tough here. Let me take a look at their schedule first of all. They just lost by 6 to the Knicks, 16 to the Pistons, 9 to the Raptors. Haven't been looking good. Got blown out by the Celtics. I mean, they've been in the gutter. I get it. Um, I think this is a little bit too much for the Hornets here on the road. I don't think the Bulls are in the same category as the Wizards. Like the Hornets just laid 10.5 on the road to the Wizards. I think the Bulls are better than the Wizards. I want to try to say the Bulls could be worth a look here. What do you think, Vino?
Well, I'm not the one that pulls you out of burning buildings, so I won't try to pull you out of a burning building. But I will say that I wouldn't. I can't look at the Bulls right now. In all honesty, ever since that trade deadline, and I remember coming on after that, and I think you said, "What are the Bulls doing? They have like 10 guards out of 15 players now. What are they doing?" And you look at what they've done since then. They haven't scored points at all in their last 4 games. I guess one does go back before the All-Star break. That was against Boston, but 101 against Toronto, 110 Detroit, 99 against the Knicks, lose all three. Play the Knicks, the tired Knicks, off of a fourth quarter comeback against Houston the night before and can still only get 99. So their offense, even though Giddy is back, it's kind of been disrupted because if there was one thing we could count on Chicago for before the break, it was they would score. And now they're not even scoring. 4 straight team total under. So until they get their assignments correct here, as far as who's going to get the ball, where you're going to get the ball, how we're going to handle these rotations, I don't know that I could be on the Bulls. And to Charlotte's credit, I mean, against Washington, you don't have to go all out to beat that team, but they went out there and beat them by 15. And now I saw Charles Lee with a couple of quotes saying he's happy to be getting players back. I guess that includes Miles Bridges. Tonight, the team has done well without them, but they've been superior. And I'll ask you this: I don't know if you've got it up in front of you. I could probably look it up, but I know prior to the break, Charlotte was trending really, really good on the defensive end. And if they're still playing really good on the defensive end, um, and the Bulls aren't scoring, I don't know. The Bulls just don't thrill me at all. Maybe I could get to a Bulls team total under in this game.
Bulls team total under. All right, so just shitting on the Bulls look right there.
That's what I'm doing. I'm here to. We took out the Knicks. We took out the Cavs. I'm taking out the Bulls. Yeah, we're just here to.
We got to narrow that list down.
Uh,
A couple comments keep asking if we're muted here, but then there's other people who are following right along like we're not muted. So if you can hear us, let the people in the comments know that we can hear fine, because I'm pretty sure we're not. Nobody's muted right now. Nobody's been muted. It must be something wrong with whatever settings or whatever they have going on. Thank you, Joseph. Jose Perez says he can hear us. All right. We have a couple more we can go through here. What do we have? Celtics and Suns opened up -6.5, down to 5 as far as Celtics as a favorite. Total all the way down to 203.5 from 210.5. Got to be some injuries. Jaylen Brown out, yeah. No Devin Booker, Dylan Brooks, Anthony. You got Grayson Allen questionable. I mean, this makes sense. The Suns team just, without Brooks and Booker, they can't score. I mean, you do have Jalen Green tonight. That should help out a little bit, but it's just hard to trust them. You're missing a lot of points with Jaylen Brown as well. Has this gone too far down, Vino? Can you bucket and go to the over, or how are you feeling about Celtics and Suns?
Yeah, I'm going to skip it entirely, Skee, because of the injury list, but I do want to get you a couple of, at least a quote on the Phoenix side from their head coach, Jordan Knott, who was talking about what you just said, a lot of scoring missing, right? And he said it's not just a one-night thing. I think this has been a piece to us the last handful of games. We've struggled to score for an extended period of time. Shot quality has not been good. We're going to continue to try and figure it out. Maybe having Green back can help that. we'll see. But the head coach is saying they're struggling scoring. And then I really like Jaylen Brown's not going to play, but it's not often that you hear these guys go off extended on how good they think they are. And Jaylen Brown's a great player, don't get me wrong, but generally these guys don't speak so glowingly of themselves in public interviews. Jaylen Brown, I feel like I'm the best two-way player in the world. I play both ends of the court. Not every night. I'm available. That's hard to do. I'm a leader. I help lead my team. I empower my team to come out and play confidently. Stuff that doesn't always show up in the analytics. And I'm a winner. I come out and try to win every single night, so I'm grateful. Jaylen Brown, every single thing he said is true about him as a player. He's been terrific this year. He's an MVP conversation. Just surprised me that a guy like him, who's generally quiet, would come out, and he must have been ticked off at whatever reporter it was and just wanted to let him know that he's a good player. I can't play this game. Too much missing. Boston's been great as of late. I'd really like to have gotten to Boston in this game, but what they just hold the Lakers to, like 80 something the other night. The defense has been really good. So if you want to look towards under, the value's probably gone. We'll move on to Orlando Lakers because I think I got a better feel for that one.
Before we move on, LJ likes Boston first half, says they're 15-3 ATS in the first half versus the West. Good look there. Mark also likes that Boston first half. Veno, I don't think it's surprising. I just want to talk about what you said. I don't think it's surprising that Jaylen Brown talks like that. You know, a lot of people will consider me a quiet guy, or maybe they did consider me a quiet guy, maybe not anymore. But Jaylen Brown's a guy who he won a championship. He's been playing really well. He didn't even he's not been getting acknowledged. He's not been getting recognized as far as what was it, the USA team? They don't put him up there with those guys. And he's reminding them like, hey, look at what I'm doing every single night. Sometimes people got to be reminded. And a lot of the reason I think he gets overlooked is certain things that he stands for. So I don't know. I like Jaylen Brown, and I can relate to Jaylen Brown. That's what I'm saying.
And it's funny too, like you say, Skee, it's always been Jason Tatum on that team, right? It's like he lives in, and Jason Tatum hasn't played a game, and he still kind of lives in that shadow with the Celtics. And I know LeBron said the other day that, and rightfully so, that Jaylen Brown should be in conversation for MVP this year for what he's done, because I don't think we thought Boston would be where they are at this point in time with that roster, and they're right back in contention to win the East. Tatum comes back in any sort of any way near 100%. Let's say he's about 85 or 90. Boston going to be a handful for everybody. Talk about Detroit all you want, but Celtics will be trouble. So we'll see.
Sometimes people start to overlook or just take things for granted. Sometimes people need a little bit of reminder. Go ahead and remind them, Jaylen Brown. I'm with you 100%. T-Wolves and Blazers. Opened up -5.5 for the Wolves. Looks like 6.5 for 7. Total went from 236.5. I'm sorry, it didn't really move. As far as the injury report, you got Naz Reid questionable for Minnesota. You have Denny Advia and Sharp both out for Portland. I mean, that seems like you're missing too much for me to even consider Portland. But at the same time, when I say that, Timberwolves, same thing I keep saying about them. I can't lay with this team. They're so inconsistent. They don't show me they deserve to lay any night. Like, they still scrape away some wins, but it's no way I could lay comfortably with the Timberwolves versus anybody. So I guess even with the injuries, that makes me lean Blazers here, Rob Veno. What do you think?
Yeah, in the Timberwolves case, Skee, at least they're consistent for you, right? You know what you're going to get from them for the most part. You're going to get a team that's going to score points and allow points and not cover big numbers. It's been that way all season long for the most part. I mean, I think there's one situation that you described where they, this a couple of weeks ago, where coming off a loss or something, they come back and smash people. But it's so random when they win big. So to trust them to do it consistently is just not a smart thing to do with your money. For Portland, the unsmart thing that I've done with my money the last couple of games is try and play their team total over. 103 and 92 aren't going to get you over. You can't even alternate lines that low to win those bets. So those were poor on my part. 17 and a half below their team total two games ago, 20 and a half behind under their team total against Phoenix, even though they won by 15, right? 92-77. They won that game decisively, but just didn't score. Denny Abdia went out of that game the other night with like only 6 minutes gone in the first or 7 minutes gone in the first, and he was in the locker room. That hurts when you're playing their overs. So I don't know that I agree with this number getting all the way up to 236, no matter how much or how much of a lack of defense that Minnesota has played. I don't know that Portland right now can get there and do their share. So to me, it's kind of a lower scoring game. I think if I had to look, Ski, I'd be looking under 236 in this particular game. That's a lot to ask for out of these two teams at this point in time.
All right. Probably won't get involved there. Really quick, before we move to the last game, a couple more comments. There's one that I forgot to mention, but they said that Skee needs to be.
No. Yeah, come on.
They said Skee needs to be more like Prez. Should I leave that one alone, Veno?
I'll just say this: if you're waiting for that to happen, you're never going to get it. So you're better off not even asking for that or waiting for that to happen. That ain't going to happen. And I speak from knowledge on that. On that
I
one.
think Veno got it covered on that one. And then this last one from Bobby says, "I'm betting 12 million, but I can't tell you who." He's just kidding. You guys are great. Thanks for a great show. Appreciate you, Bobby. And yeah, no, I got one play I'm betting tonight. It's $400, not 12 million. We'll go over to Magic at Lakers, and it looks like it opened -6 for the Lakers. Down to 5.5 or 5, depending where you shop. Total going up from 228.5 as high as 231. Let's take a look at the injury report. My bad here. Let me actually just refresh just to make sure. So Jackson Hayes is now doubtful with his ankle sprain, which is a big deal. He's been much better than DeAndre Ayton. For the Magic, no Franz Wagner, and then you have Jalen Suggs questionable here tonight. Let me get over here. For the Magic, it is their third game in 4 nights, fourth game in 6 nights. And just looking here, all of these games have been on the road. So could be a little bit of travel fatigue here. Every game, 4th straight game on the road after the All-Star break. And one of those games was a double overtime game. For the Lakers, they did just come off of a beatdown versus Celtics. They've been at home every game since the break. They haven't looked great, though. So, Veno, do you think it's a good chance for the Lakers to bounce back here, or not really trusting them? They do struggle a little bit defensively. Could struggle some more without Jackson Hayes. What do you think on this one?
Yeah, that's my initial inclination, Ski, is to go ahead and play it over with the way that Orlando's capable of scoring. And if I look at their defensive side, you hit on this 4th and 6, but it's consecutive road games. Like, this is the end of a trip. You can see some defensive fatigue in this one. And if I combine that with, I'm a big bounce back guy, good offenses that only score 87 should bounce back to their norm. I think that's what the Lakers will do. The big three scorers on the team are still playing. No Jackson Hayes at the rim on the other side to defend or to stop Orlando from getting there. So there's a lot of things that add up to playing this total over, including pace on the Orlando side, which we know all season long. Jamal Mosley has said we're not going to change. So I think that 230 might be doable here for these two teams for a lot of reasons. Some situational, some fundamental, but I think it all adds up to a game getting over 230.
I would agree. I mean, the Lakers defense is not the most trustworthy, but they do have a team that's very capable of scoring. I mean, all those guys over there can get a bucket. So I do think there should be points. And as far as the side is concerned, I think it's not a good spot for the Magic. I think it's a very nice spot for the Lakers to bounce back after getting destroyed as well. So Lakers or over in this game would be the recommendations here. All right, Bino, we made it through the entire card, and man, it took us 45 minutes, but we had to talk some stuff out today. Today's a little bit, we need to talk it out. So move it over to best bets, or before, I'm sorry, before we move to best bets. And you know what? We're not going to do best bets today because we need more time to think and push the button on some of these games. If you listen, told you a game that he already likes in bet. And if you listen to me, you know, maybe I gave you a nice hint. But what I will put up on the screen here for today, $5 Tuesday. So you guys do have, it's a great day to go ahead and give it a shot. Check out a pick from either Rob or myself over at wagertalk.com, and you'll get the write-up. You get to see if you like it, if you want to rock with us for a longer term, et cetera, et cetera. If you do, I'm pretty sure they still have this going on. 10 days of all access for the price of $7, where you'll save $69. So other good ways to get involved. And last but not least, I'm going to mention for myself, this is the last day that I'm able to have that NBA through the final special up for $349. So less than $100 per month the rest of the way. And NBA's been pretty good, up 32, close to 33 units so far this season, over 200 the past few years in the NBA. Vino, I want to ask you if there's anything else that you would like to promote, and anything else you want to leave us with before we get out of here.
Yeah, real quick, Ski. Now that you said that, it jogs my memory. It's also the last day for me to have up a solo package that Wager Talk created for me for college basketball. Been in the top 5 at Wager Talk all season long. I think I ranked number 3 for the year, number 2 since December 1st. So it's been a good year. But they are running a promotion for me, good through midnight Eastern time tonight or midnight Pacific. I forget which it is, midnight wherever you are. 199 all the way through the national championship game, and you get every single one of those tournaments that comes with it: the CBI, the NIT, the Crown tournament in Las Vegas, whatever it is. All 5%ers, everything through the national championship. So it's everything from now until then for 199. And today is the last day that's available. So thanks for jogging my memory on that one. I thought for sure you're going to throw the "That's My Dog" music up. I was ready for it.
No, I love it. I love that That's My Dog segment, but not today. We'll get back into rhythm tomorrow. So, yeah, that'll wrap up the show. Vino, I always appreciate you taking time to break down the games. Helps my process. I'm sure it helps everybody else as well. Good to be back doing the show as well. People in the chat, we appreciate you. Great cappers, great people. And, we're all just trying to help each other get to the window. So best of luck, everybody, on all your action tonight. And we'll catch you all again tomorrow.